Hi, what's up, guy? I'm Edwin. I would like to recommend one key application of finance to you called financial planning model. So let's say if a company want to expand to boost its sales, it need to acquire a new product line. Then the next question would be, where does money come from? On the other hand, company capital can be increased by the earning in each year. So financial planning model can help us to calculate whether the company has enough capital to achieve its goals or plan, and the amount of difference so that company can plan ahead to fill the gap. So why financial planning model is so important? First, financial planning model can help company to preserve enough capital to capture valuable opportunities. Second, financial planning can help company to avoid solvency problem so that the company can have a sustainable development. For financial planning can reduce the size of idle assets so that the operating efficiency can be improved. Here, I would like to employ the percentage of sales method. So it means that we want to know what would be the impact to the company financial position when sale is increased by a certain percentage. So it means that when we make the forecast, we can categorize items into three types. The first type increase proportionally with sales, like inventories and account receivable. The second type is assumed to be constant. For example, we usually assume interest is constant in the first phase, and then the third type needs other information to calculate. So there's subtotal or total, or for depreciation, which can only be estimated if we know the corresponding accounting practice. So after we set all the assumptions, we can start our financial planning from pro forma income statement. Assume that sale would be increased by 30%. Then the sales would become $3,900. And cost of goods sold is usually increased with sale, so it can also be increased to 2080. Assume that we also know the depreciation will be increased by 70, then it will become 470. For interest, we assume that it's constant. Other expenses will also be increased with sales. Then we can find that the taxable income is $500. And next, we deduct 20% taxation from the taxable income. We can find that the net profit would be $400. Assume that the payout ratio is still 40% as previous year. Finally, we find that the additional to retained earning would be 240 in the projected years. So this question is this enough to support the 30% growth in sales? To answer this question, we need to go to the pro forma balance sheet. Cash, accounts receivable, and inventory are assumed to be increased with sales. Then we can find that the current assets would increase to 227. If we assume that the machinery is operating in full capacity, then we need to spend 30% more in machinery in supporting the 30% growth in sales. So finally, we find that the total assets is 7,280. Then we move to the right-hand side. Accounts payable is expected to change with sales. And in this stage, we first assume the bank loan, long-term debt, and common stock are constant. Because in next stage, when we find that the capital is not enough, we will then decide which one will be used to finance the growth. So it means in this stage, we first assume these three items is fixed. Then the remaining item is addition to retained earning. And because in the income statement, we find that it will increase by 240, so retained earning would become $840. Now we find that the total liabilities and equity is 6,080. You may think that is there any typo? Why the balance sheet is not balanced, as total assets is actually more than the total liabilities and equity. So actually there's no typo. This difference is exactly the external financing needs, which means that it's the required fund to meet the growth target. So after we get this 1,200 EFN, we can finish the first stage and then we can move to the second stage. So in the second stage, we need to think about how to fill the gap. The first way is debt financing, but it will increase the risk exposure of the company. And the second way is equity financing, but it will also dilute the earning of existing shareholders. Then the third way is to cut down the target sales growth. But although it can reduce the capital needs, the company will then lose some valuable opportunities. So the final answer would depends on the company's financial position and its constraint. Now you can see that financial planning model can actually help management in estimating the need of capital in the future, so that the company have more time to plan ahead. Financial planning model is also very useful for personal finance. Um, People will have different goals to achieve in the future, like um, studying, marriage, buying some apartment. We know that to achieve those goals, we need to have both heart and money. And financial planning model can actually help you to estimate the future financial needs so that we can have more time to make appropriate arrangement. So like we can increase our active income by turning hobbies into a part-time job, or we can delay or reduce expenditure. For example, if a guy originally planned to travel to East Coast, he can change the plan to Changzhou. The amount would be large enough for him to travel from East Changzhou to West Changzhou and then still have many money to save for his future plan. But definitely it's a joke, but it's really worth to think about, is there any type of expenditure that can delay or even reduce when we face a dilemma between making expenditure and achieving our goal. And third, we can actually achieve our goal by increasing passive income. But how to find a suitable investment is a long story. Actually, many points about personal finance are worth to discuss. I'm planning to make some videos about personal finance in the future to talk about those points. So what do we learn today? We learn about the importance of financial planning models. We also understand the percentage of sales method. We also know how to make the pro-forma financial statement. We also talk about how to fill in the external financial needs. And then at last, we know about financial planning is also very useful for personal finance. Um, Hope you enjoy my video. So if you like my video, remember like and then subscribe the channel. So I'm Edwin. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.